Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take. On today's Unbiased Hard Take, topic one, me and JB, as we always do, we're going to turn the tables on each other here and talk about Week 6. JB, what's one topic from Week 6 that you want to discuss?
Oh, going straight into the NFL of Week 6.
All right.
See the Minnesota and Chicago, which we could see clearly why. I did lose that. But that whole entire game was horrible. Both of the teams basically they should have just gave it both of them a tie. Honestly.
Oh.
They both played horrible. Kirk Cousins
Did.
had the highest passing yards for both teams, 181 passing yards. Deontay Foreman 65, and receiving for DJ Moore for the receiving leader is 51. That is the most horrible game that I've watched. Back and forth, back and forth. Both teams couldn't do anything. Fumbles everywhere. I think only have like one interception each for both quarterbacks on the Bear side.
Yeah, they did.
Because Justin Fields did get hurt. I think it was his wrist that got hurt.
Finger.
Yeah.
Finger injury. And it looks like he possibly could miss some time.
Yep, that would not surprise me.
NBC Sports Chicago reports injury update, slight chance he plays. But again, that's a slight chance. And he missed practice today with a thumb injury.
Yeah, both Chicago our quarterbacks both had one interception. Foreman only had 65. Madison only had 44. It was a horrible offensive team, or both teams' offensive was horrible. The only thing, I mean, Kirk Cousins, I guess he did okay. He went 21 for 31. I mean, 181 passing yards. He only averaged almost 6 yards per pass. Sacks
he
was
managed the game.
2 for 7, but I mean, I feel like he only threw to his checkdowns majority of the game. Like he couldn't go downfield for anything. So, I mean, I guess that's how, if you want to win, throw to your checkdowns.
And I think that's what we're going to see a lot from the Vikings offense right now, especially with Jefferson being out. Because you look, Kirk Cousins, I mean, he completed a good amount of passes, only threw 10 incompletions. Not a lot of passing yards for 21 completions. So it was a lot of dink and dunk, check down, take your running back, your second option, a lot of short passes. That's actually why I picked the Vikings, was because I trusted them more than I do Chicago and Fields. Fields, he's just not that dude. He had an interception and 58 passing yards, 6 for 10. I mean, and then that Tyson Bagnet who came in there, who went to a smaller college, made his first game action. He just did not look like he is an NFL quarterback to me, especially not a starter. He looked a little in over his head. Minnesota was able to win an ugly game, and that's why I picked
He
them.
did go 10 for 14 though.
He did, but he also turned the ball over twice, if I'm not mistaken, because he also had that late fumble as well. I need to double check that, make sure I am correct.
Yep, he did.
Yeah, fumbles lost. Yeah, so I mean, he had 2 turnovers. I will say he did get his first touchdown. He ran one in, so he was able to do that as well. But when it comes down to it, ultimately, the reason I picked the Vikings was because Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields. Even if Fields had not gotten hurt, I think Minnesota still wins that game. It was an ugly football game. Wasn't flashy, wasn't a sexy game, but hey, that don't matter in football.
I'm honestly surprised that Minnesota won without Jefferson.
But they do still have some talent.
Honestly, really surprised. I mean, apparently that talent did not show up.
Enough to win, though.
Barely.
Hey, barely don't matter. Addison, that rookie, he was able to get a touchdown. And Hawkinson was able to get 6 catches for 50 yards. So they do have some offensive weapons still. More than Chicago, in my opinion, who relies on DJ Moore way too much. Yeah,
Yep.
who else do they have? Tyler Scott, Robert Tunyon, Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet.
Two
Oh,
catches.
Cole Kmet is actually pretty good. Darnell Mooney, he can. I seen some highlights on him. He can actually be a really good playmaker if he wants to. It's just the quarterback that he has can't do it. But he can be a game changer if he wants to. But it's
Yes,
just
he's
the quarterback has to just do something other than give DJ Moore. Everything lies on DJ Moore.
or Justin Fields scrambling. One of the two. That's their entire offense. That's all they have.
Mm-hmm.
They're too they're too restricted on what they're able to do. Justin Fields is not a pocket passer. Their backup is a Division II. Let's see, where did he go to college at? It was a smaller school. Tyson Bagnet. Okay, so he is a rookie this
Shepherd.
year. He was undrafted, and he literally went to a Division II school, if I'm correct on that. Yeah, Division II school. So I mean, he's not even from a Division I school, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not at all, because there's plenty of Division II players who have been good in the NFL. But at the quarterback position, it's far more rare. And let's be honest, the Bears are not the best at how we say this, developing quarterbacks. So they're just way too in over their head offensively. They don't have anything, and their defense really isn't that good either. So yeah, Chicago's still rebuilding. The good news for them is that right now, if the season were to end, they would have the number 1 and number 2 overall pick.
Good.
However, speaking of draft picks, one team I want to talk about a little bit is 49ers. I say draft picks because of the many draft picks they gave away to get Trey Lance, and the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll talk about them. The last 2 undefeated teams have lost. So that
On the
that that
same week.
perfect in the
On the
same week.
same week.
And with that being said, there are now no NFL teams that have a perfect record. So that Dolphins team is popping champagne once again. There will be no undefeated team this year. So with that, it's more so how they lost and who they lost to. Me and you were
Mm-hmm.
both wrong. Me and you were both wrong on those games. I have it right here. Me and you both had San Francisco, and both of us had um, Philadelphia as well. You replay those games 10 more times. Philadelphia and San Francisco win at least 7 of them.
Yep.
The
Oh yeah.
NFL is an any week league. Anything can happen. The talent level in the NFL is far too close. It's not like college. I mean, Cleveland upsetting San Francisco. Can I say that's the upset of the year so far?
Mm,
I feel like it wouldn't be if Deshaun Watson played, but he didn't. PJ Walker beat the
yeah.
Niners. PJ Walker.
Out of all teams, or out of everyone, PJ Walker is the one that beat the 49ers.
And that
But
Niners defense, I mean, not
he
Niners, the Cleveland defense. That Cleveland defense is insane.
Cleveland, yes, that Cleveland defense actually looked phenomenal against the 49ers. Um, but it's sad to say Christian McCaffrey did get hurt, and
Right.
then Debo Samuel really didn't show up. I think he did get hurt as well.
He did, yes.
But I
Well, the
think it
Niners
was. But yeah, it
battled
was.
injuries.
Yep, and here we go again. The downfall of the 49ers. Injuries are going to happen. But PJ Walker, he did not do good at all. 18 for 34, 192 and 2 interceptions. But I think that the Cleveland defense is actually the one that actually saved in that game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And with
They
Kareem
made
Hunt rushing in 1 touchdown to help secure that is actually helps a lot.
And so then I turn over to Philadelphia, and they lost as well. But that doesn't surprise me as much. It surprises me it was the Jets. I'm surprised Zach Wilson beat them. But Philadelphia is kind of, I wouldn't say struggling, but their offensive fluidity this season just has not been the same since Shane Steichen left as offensive coordinator to be the Colts head coach.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't looked the same. Now, it still looks good. It still looks to be top 10 in the league. But I think Philadelphia's kind of taken a step back this year a little bit. And finally, they got bit. It's called the snake finally bit them. If you play with your food long enough, it's going to bite you.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what happened. They got overconfident. I think they went in there and assumed Zach Wilson would not be able to beat them, and they were totally wrong. And Zach Wilson has looked good, or at least acceptable, over the last few weeks. He managed that Philadelphia game very well. I wouldn't say he played great, but he at least was a game manager. He didn't screw anything up.
Nope. You know, he did go 19 for 33, 186 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but he did actually did somewhat decent on the run game, 4 for 15 or 4 carries for 15 yards. As long as it was a 9 yards. But everything else, I mean, Breeze Hall looks like their only touchdown.
Breece Hall is a star.
Oh yeah, he is.
Breece
But
Hall is a
probably
future star.
probably the one thing that actually helped the New York Jets to win is that defense, that young core defense. With getting 3 picks against a MVP candidate, I mean that is so unreal. With Tony Adams, Quinnen Williams, and Bryce Hall both had interceptions. So
Well, yeah, because you look. Speaking of interceptions, Jalen Hurts had 3 picks that game.
Mm-hmm.
His QBR was 59.5. So for the season, he has 7 pass touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So you look, he's kind of regressed a little bit. Now, those numbers are slightly misleading because he has ran a bunch of touchdowns in as well.
Yep.
And to me, yes, passing touchdowns is the main quarterback stat. But who cares? Who cares how you score? It's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
I always take turnovers, so interceptions and fumbles lost, on top of your rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns, because who cares how you do it? There's multiple ways to skin a cat.
Right.
But 3 interceptions, we don't see that from Jalen Hurts. I watched the second half of that game, and Philadelphia lost that game more than New York won, I would say. Because even this season, Jalen Hurts has lost 1 fumble. He's ran 5 in. So that would give him a total of 8 turnovers for the season and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 touchdowns for the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, he's performing well, but just not how he was last year. I think that has a lot to do with them losing their offensive coordinator.
I do believe so. But the Eagles just got another weapon on their offense. They did sign Julio Jones.
Yes. A washed up Julio Jones, a nursing home Julio Jones, way past his prime. Now he is for depth because they have A.J. Brown, they have Devontae Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they have Swift at running back. So it's not like he's going to be their main offensive weapon, but I mean,
he's a good third option if any of those are not open, and he is probably one of the better third options in probably the NFL right now.
If he can stay healthy, yes.
If he can stay healthy, yes. If not, then
that's a big thing.
But I mean, he's had this long to rehab whatever injury he was had, because I think it's been a while since I actually remember what his injury was.
He's had multiple injuries,
but I think he had a long enough time to actually rehab all of his injuries, and I think he could be 100%. Could. Keyword could.
And it's worth a shot. Kind of like Miami with Claypool. I mean, does Miami really need him?
No.
No. So if it doesn't work out, who cares? There's no risk. However, if Claypool can be even 50% of what he's capable of doing, it's worth it. Because you
Oh
already
yeah.
have Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Who cares? You're just looking to kind of pile it on an additional weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It
Because
can't hurt to kick
honestly,
the
with
tires.
the receiver room, who else is there other than Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle?
Not really a lot, but really in the NFL, you need two really good receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Then a bunch of guys who can make plays every now and then. That's what you need.
So yeah, with having Claypool in, and um, the hopefully Claypool does good, and the Dolphins scheme that what they're doing right now.
If he can't succeed in Miami,
If he,
he's not
yeah,
going to be able to succeed anywhere.
nope. He
This
had
is
that
his last
one.
chance.
He had that one good year with Ben, and ever since then he's fell down.
Yes, and it's amazing what a Hall of Fame quarterback can do for you.
Yep, for
True.
anybody.
Anybody.
Look at Juju right now. Look what he's doing.
Even look at the all-time greats. Larry Fitzgerald was much better with Kurt Warner than he was with Matt Leinart.
Yep.
Because that's how it is. I mean, my God, they made a Super Bowl with Kurt Warner, but they were a top 10 worst team in the league with Matt Leinart.
Yep.
Amazing what a Hall of Fame quarterback can do. We'll get into Miami a little more here in a bit. Me and JB are going to flip the page from week 6 to week 7. As you guys can see above us, boy Chandler here, the one game we were talking about, Minnesota, Chicago. I got that one correct. So the season standings right now are 60-33 for me and 59-34 for JB. So all season long, I've either made sure it's tied or I've had the lead. So had a good, strong first half of the season. Standings are still tight. So let's see if me and JB have some different ones this week. Maybe JB can take the lead from me. I want to jinx myself. Murphy's Law, it's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, teams on bye this week. A lot of teams are on bye. The Panthers, the Bengals, the Cowboys, the Texans, the Titans, and the Jets. All of those teams have byes. So with that, Thursday night football. Who you got, JB? The Jags or the Saints?
Well, Jags looked actually really good against who they played, the Colts.
Oh yeah, they demolished them.
Oh yeah, they killed them. So, and I think, let me check their. I want to see the Saints. Making sure if I'm correct on this.
What's that?
They're what's the word I'm looking for? Injuries. See, I'm gonna
Oh, their injury
see.
report.
Yep, their injury report. Oh yeah, so Jamal Williams is still he's on IR. There are 3 of their offensive tackles is out. Safety's
Right.
out.
Right.
Tight end, their Juwan Johnson is out. Demario Davis is questionable, and Tyrann Mathieu is questionable. A lot of key positions. So I'm gonna say with Jacksonville, just because they are a threat right now, because they are they are 4-2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think no one. I mean, there are teams that can stop them, but right now they look like they are not going to stop at any time. So give me
Right, because
Jacksonville.
you look. So Jacksonville just beat the Colts, and that was a big game for me because the winner takes the lead of the division. And now the Jaguars have swept the Colts for the season, so they've beat them twice already. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
So you look, since Jacksonville has lost to Houston, they've beaten Atlanta 20-37, they beat Buffalo 25-20, and they demolished Indianapolis 37-20. You look at that, Jacksonville's on a roll right now. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. That defense is that defense looks as advertised. The defense
Hmm.
really, yes, Jacksonville has Trevor Lawrence, and I'm not want to deny that. But you look, Jacksonville, the defense is really the strongest suit of that football team right now.
Hmm.
They're the reason they're winning these games. Did you keep track of the Jags game?
I did not.
I didn't initially because I was watching the Bears and the Vikings game. However, I was able to catch some snippets of it with us living in Indiana. We get the Colts, and Gardner Minshew was staring down his receivers. He
Hmm.
was making it way too easy for that Jaguars defense. And
Hmm.
with Anthony Richardson being out, we'll get into the Colts a little bit later. But you look at the Saints. The Saints, yeah, they're winning some ugly football teams. Their defense is solid. They have a good defense, but that offense is not as advertised. Their offense is still struggling a little bit. I thought Derek Carr would improve the defense a little more than he has. However, that has not been the case. They still look average at best, really. So, with that being said, I'm taking Jacksonville. They're on a roll. Me and JB both have Jacksonville.
Yep.
Moving forward. Ooh, this is a good one. Detroit Lions or the Baltimore Ravens?
Ooh, that's a good matchup. Two of the both very strong defenses, but I think. Mm, if the Ravens have a better chance with the receivers, it's like what I'm seeing from the last game with the Tennessee Titans. Um, see Tyre Spears, he got one target, one catch. Westbrook 3 for 4. D Hop 1 for 5.
Right.
I think he's dreading his decision.
I
Derrick
think
Henry went
he
2 for 2.
cared more about money.
Yep, and I think he's regretting it now.
Maybe. He played for the Cardinals for so long, he's probably used to losing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, at least he played a little bit better as a Cardinal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He was an all-star as a Cardinal.
And now look at Joshua Dobbs having a no receiver, barely, hardly any good receivers, and yet he's making them look like all star or all pro.
Right. Josh Dobbs has proven right now. That he is at least a good backup in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll get into the Cardinals in a bit.
I'm gonna say, give me Detroit. Detroit is, excuse me, they're I think they're a true force to be reckoned with. Right now they're 5-1. I don't even know how long it has been since the Detroit Lions were 5-1. I don't even want to know. It's probably way before my time. Okay,
Want to hear an insane stat?
go for it.
The NFC North. The Indianapolis Colts have won the NFC North more recently than the Detroit Lions have.
Oh, see, there we
I'll
go.
say that again. And the NFC North wasn't even called the NFC North back then. It was called the NFC Central. In the early 90s, that happened, yes. The Colts were in our division, Packers division. And then it got realigned, of course.
Oh, see, well, there we go. See, way before our time. Okay, probably when me and Chandler over here weren't even thought of yet.
They literally have not won the division since I was -3 years old, 1992.
Yep. So yeah. So give me Detroit. I think they're going to I wouldn't say kill the Ravens. Not, yeah. Whew. Can't read today.
Actually, I was wrong. 1993. I apologize. So actually, let's actually make this clear. The Lions have never won the NFC North ever. They won the NFC Central.
Okay.
But there's an interesting fact for you. So I agree with you that Detroit wins this game as much as I hate them. I don't want to root for Detroit. They went out there and they held Tampa Bay to 6 points. They not allow a single touchdown, if I'm looking at this correct. Yeah, they didn't allow a single touchdown. They simply allowed field goals. Jared Goff, 353 yards, 2 touchdowns. You're looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown. He had 12 receptions, 124, and a touchdown. The Lions, they're physical up front. They have a good defense. They have a good offense, so they're explosive. Detroit Lions could be a Super Bowl favorite. Did I say that? Maybe, possibly? Is there a team in the NFC right now, playing
Right
better
now.
than Detroit?
No.
No. So the Lions are a
Well,
wow. I'm gonna,
probably want to say the Eagles.
yeah, but they're just they're not playing
And the
football
49ers.
right now.
There's probably
Yeah,
there's
but
2 teams. The Eagles and the 49ers are probably the 2 slightly better.
but we can sit here and argue Detroit's better. I think it's very possible.
I think if the Lions face the Eagles and the Lions face the 49ers, it will be an even matchup. They will, if they play 6 games, they will both win 3-3.
Okay, so you think it's truly a coin flip?
It is a truly a coin flip at this point, because the only loss that the Detroit Lions had was with the Seahawks, but they should have won that one.
It was a close, good game
A very close, good game.
against a good team, Seattle.
And then you have the Eagles lost against the Jets, which is a horrible team. And the 49ers lost to the Browns, which is they are a mediocre team at best.
Mediocre to good on a good day. I would say though, on their best day, the Cleveland Browns are a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
A great, good.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Feel better?
Yes. Whew.
Did the mic catch that one?
I don't know.
Not either. Hey, I guess we'll find out, won't we?
We will.
Find out with the audience. However, yeah, I mean, I think Detroit wins this game, and I actually kind of flirted with the idea of Baltimore winning this game because Baltimore looks good. They did beat Tennessee. They were able to bounce back. But you look at what they were able to do in the red zone. Holy crap. Their red zone offense looked like shit.
Mm-hmm.
They kicked way too many field goals. If you go out there and you suck in the red zone and you stall and you're 3rd down and then you're 4th down and then you kick the field goal against Detroit,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you're done.
Done. You can get away with that against Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. Also, is to be mentioned that last week I mentioned Malik Willis. When are we going to see him? We actually did see Malik Willis last week, so kind of spoke that into existence there.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes, and he did not look the best. He kind of looked flustered a little bit, in my opinion. But with that being said, yeah, me and JB got Detroit. Here's going to be an ugly football game. Ready for this one?
Ready.
The Vegas Raiders or the Chicago Bears, possibly without Justin Fields.
Oh.
Likely without Justin Fields, may I say.
So, I gave the Bears a shot. And they blew it. They blew it.
And the standings say it.
And the standings say so. So, I'm sorry, Bears fans. I gave you a shot. Probably the one time a non-Bears fan gave you a shot. So, screw you guys. Your team sucks. I'm going with Las Vegas Raiders. No No ifs, ands, or buts. Las Vegas Raiders. You're not even gonna stop Devontae Adams.
Oh no, absolutely not. And Jimmy G's back. They have Josh Jacobs. They have Devontae Adams. They have Max Crosby on defense. So even on a talent perspective, Vegas is better. So you look at the records. Obviously, Vegas is better. Truly, though, when you sit and think about the Raiders, yes, we might not like Josh McDaniels. Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo might be the very definition of mid, but they are 3-3.
Mm-hmm.
So that is to be at least amended. I mean, they were able to win some ugly football games, and they do have a better record than the Chargers do. That's to also be mentioned. So we'll get into the Chargers a bit later. So you look, yeah, they might not be winning sexy football games, but they're still winning. That's more than the Bears can say.
It's more of
With
a.
that being said,
They're winning more of the ugly games. See which team can screw up more? Is it us or the other team? That's what
that's
games
literally
they're
it.
winning.
Yeah, they're not beating outstanding teams. They're not. But yeah, I think the Raiders want to be able to win this game. Especially if Justin Fields does not play. And it's looking like he's not going to. I don't think they win this game against the Raiders with Justin Fields, and I definitely don't think they win it without him. No way.
No.
Yeah, give me Vegas. Maybe me and JB will have a different one here. Probably not on this one though. The Cleveland Browns or the Indianapolis Colts.
Ooh. Ooh. I want to see some. I want to see if. Oh, so he's on injured reserve still.
Who's that?
Anthony Richardson.
He's actually out for the season now. They announced his
Oh,
season is over.
okay. Did not get that news.
That's recent news.
New news for me.
Yeah, they're shutting him down for the year. They want to be starting Gardner Minshew.
Even though Gardner Minshew is a good, solid quarterback,
He's easily the best backup in the league.
well,
I would say so. His issue though is one game he'll look outstanding. Some games he looks like a starter, and he'll go out there and beat Baltimore. Then he'll go out there and shit the bed like he did last week against Jacksonville, and then stare down receivers and look like he's genuinely confused, like he actually doesn't know what's going on.
mm-hmm.
He'll go back and forth. He's like Ryan, kind of like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, just way too inconsistent.
Right. But I do believe. I mean, same way with Joshua. Going back to Joshua Dobbs again, but he's actually looking pretty good.
For the Cardinals,
yeah. I think
oh yeah,
either he's probably the best backup because like you said with Minshew, there's one games that he looks phenomenal. He looks like a true starter, and one game he's just horrible. So, but I'm checking to see. Okay, so on Wednesday for Deshaun Watson, Wednesday that he said can't put a time on his return for his shoulder injury. So he's still questionable, but we don't know if he's going to play or not on week 7.
Who's that?
Deshaun Watson doesn't have a timeline, so might see 2 backups going at it. But if the Cleveland Browns defense can hold the same way as or what they did last week,
Oh, they will.
and they will.
Absolutely, they absolutely will. And so you're taking Cleveland?
I am going to be taking Cleveland on this game just because they have a better defense and a slightly better offense.
I think Cleveland's offense is better. I think the problem is Deshaun Watson's injury, if that's what we're going to call it, because reports are he was actually cleared 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're still medically cleared 2 weeks ago, and we're still not sure if he's going to play.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, something's not right with that picture.
No.
However, they still went out there and made Brock Purdy. Wow, that was the first time Brock Purdy's lost in the regular season. May I add you? And the first time he's actually looked bad. We'll talk about Brock Purdy a little bit, but later. I'm not too concerned with him, but San Francisco made that not San Francisco, excuse me, Cleveland made San Francisco look average.
Yep.
I mean, held them under 20 points. They won an ugly football game. Cleveland, you look, they have been impossible to move the ball on all year long. They lead the league in total defense and pass defense, and they rank fourth in run defense. So they're literally stacked across the board.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and say Cleveland has the best defense in football, good enough to where PJ Walker is able to beat the undefeated Niners. So with that, on top of the fact that Gardner Minshew, speaking of inconsistency, is coming off of completing 60% of his passes, 6 yards per attempt, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, and was sacked 3 times for a QBR of 60.3. So he's coming off a horrible performance. Yeah, Cleveland, based on their defense alone, will win this football game.
Yep.
Here's another one. Buffalo Bills, the New England Patriots.
Oh,
This game's
Buffalo.
in New England.
Buffalo.
Even after the big time sports media is giving them crap for winning a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look at these mainstream people, they're giving the Bills crap for their last week's performance against the Giants. If I'm not mistaken, they won the football game.
Yep.
Here we are acting like Buffalo's some trash team. Ridiculous.
But yeah, with everything else, I don't think the Bills are not having an offensive struggle. I think it's just a I want to say lack of communication more so.
As far as on the offensive side of the ball,
Yeah. With as far as on the offensive side, I think there's not that good of a communication and um just the bond of the offense. How it was last year, they had that bond, they had great communication, and now this year is just not there. It's there, but it's not there at the same time. There are games where it shows great communication, the bond is there, and some games is just not. But I mean, even if you did win against a struggling New York Giants team, still it's I mean, you're going up 6-0 in the first half against the struggling Giants, even though Tyrod Taylor did actually look really good in that game. He had 200 yards, but yeah.
because when you look at Buffalo, they didn't allow a single touchdown. Yes, they won 14-9.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it wasn't the prettiest football game. It's not what these offensive gurus love to see. It wasn't the most exciting thing in the world. They won 14-9. They still didn't allow a single touchdown. Josh Allen still went out there and threw 19 for 30, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was able to score all 14 points in the fourth quarter and still found a way to win the game.
Yep.
And Saquon Barkley returned, by the way, which they kept him under 100 yards as well. He only had 94, which 94 is still a respectable number, but he definitely didn't run all over him.
And probably what I did
So,
see that the New York Giants, there was a few questionable play calls that they should have gave Barkley the ball, but didn't in a crucial
I,
a crucial third and short plays. But I mean, it's like a what if type of scenario. I mean, would the
it
New York Giants
absolutely is.
won if they gave Barkley the ball more? I mean, well, they did give him the ball quite a bit.
And they
Because
gave him the ball over 20 times.
yeah, 24 times, only 93 yards. So his longest was a 94. Not 94, 34. That was his longest.
Right, but you average all that out, he only averaged 3.9 yards
3.9.
a carry. So not a very efficient game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
93 yards looks good, whatever, cool. But 3.9 yards a carry, not horrible, but definitely not Saquon Barkley either.
No.
But yeah, Buffalo against New England, who is definitely reeling. Holy crap. Yeah, they're reeling. They're 1-5. They need to
Probably the
start thinking about the
worst
draft.
year that Bill Belichick has
Ever had, is it?
ever
Oh,
had.
absolutely.
The only game that he won was against the Jets, and they barely won that game.
Which I actually surprised I picked that one correct, actually. Because you look at them, yeah, they lost to the Raiders by 4. Mac Jones, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Yeah, there's a lot of issues. They need to hit the restart button in New England. I think Buffalo will probably run this away.
Yeah, but hopefully we see it next year that Bill Belichick is going to retire because he can't bring nothing back. Can't bring Tom back. Can't bring Gronk back. He can't bring no one back. He's done for. And you should probably thank Tom Brady for all those rings that you have.
See though, yes. Do you think Tom Brady for all 6 rings? Yes.
Yep.
I think we said on this show before. I think it was both of them. Do you think Tom Brady seriously has 7 Super Bowls if it's not for Bill Belichick?
6.
7.
6.
Yeah, but 7 total. I know he has 7.
But
So yeah,
look what he played the next season that he left New England. He went to Tampa. That same year they won the Super Bowl. So
right, I'm not saying.
So what would you think? It's the coach or is it the player?
I think both can be true. I think it's both. Do I think Bill
if you look at
Belichick's
him right now, if you look at Belichick right now,
Hmm?
look what he did the season when Tom Brady left. And now you look at the season now. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
Barely had a winning season last year, or the season when Tom Brady left.
They struggled. They were what 7-9. That was Cam Newton.
Yeah,
made the playoffs the year after that with Mac Jones. His rookie season, they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think both can be true, though. I think Tom Brady's still a Hall of Fame quarterback without Belichick. I think Belichick's still a Hall of Fame coach without Brady. I think you put both of them together, we'll never see anything like that again.
No.
6 Super Bowls, 6 in one era. That's insane. I think without Belichick, Brady probably has 3 rings. I don't mean that as a disrespectful way. I mean that yes, I said it last week. Belichick is offensively ignorant.
And just think, there was only 3 quarterbacks to actually win what did it say, 3? Yeah, probably 3. No, 4. 4 quarterbacks that actually won a Super Bowl in the Tom Brady era. Ben Roethlisberger. Well, I would say
AFC?
5. No, it's just Super Bowls in general. I probably want to say
Roethlisberger,
Ben, Peyton, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Eli Manning,
Joe Flacco.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he won the Super Bowl still, though.
He did win a Super Bowl, so yeah, there's Joe Flacco. That's about it. So 6. So
Nick Foles.
Oh yeah, Nick Foles.
There's more than you think.
Yeah, there is more.
Just New England dominated for so long. The problem is, though, they went a long time without winning one.
Yeah.
They went over almost damn near 10 years without winning one again.
So, but yeah, having out of those 7 quarterbacks, only 3 of them are Hall of Fame.
Or Brees, Rodgers, Manning, Roethlisberger.
Oh, yeah, 4. So 4. So out of 4 quarterbacks, You
Oh,
have
no. Eli Manning's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
yeah, I was saying Ben Roethlisberger,
Yeah. And
Eli Manning,
Mhm.
Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. Oh yeah,
Yep.
and Aaron Rodgers. So 5.
Aaron
So
Rodgers. Yeah.
so 5 quarterbacks are actually Hall of Famers. The rest of them
Do you
were
count
just had a one good season.
Holmes won a Super Bowl in the Brady era?
Who?
Holmes.
Oh yeah,
But there's
but
more.
yeah.
Speaking
Well,
of
I think
Eli
that was
Manning,
the end of the that Tom Brady era.
it was. He was old.
So I think it was just. I mean, should we even count that one?
I mean, I would. I'm Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes played in a Super Bowl against each other, so I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With that, speaking of Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Eli Manning being brought up, the New York Giants, the Washington Commanders, take command.
Oh god.
You have them taking command.
So the Washington Redskins. I hope they get that name back. I swear.
I do too. Commanders just isn't right.
Just bring it all back. I mean,
Bring it back.
there was nothing wrong with it. Everyone was okay with it. It's just that the cancel culture can't or change the name. I'll say it. The cancel culture changed it.
Exactly what happened. Cancel
Like
culture always gets in the way.
the natives was okay with it because looking back at history, the person that was on the face of the Redskins was a tribal chief.
Hmm?
And for actually doing something with the natives to gain or not gain, but make a history out of it and actually representing that tribe and that culture. I mean, that's what natives are basically known for. So I guess just people don't know history with nothing. So,
Oh, no.
but
No.
I'm probably going to say Washington. I know that came out of nowhere. But
Well, I've come to a conclusion that me and you are hitting the age to where we're the old people in their yards screaming at like just pounding. You know what I mean? Get off my lawn! That's us now.
property!
Before I call the police.
You hoodlum! But yeah, dang it. But
yeah, you're getting the Commanders.
Yeah, I'm taking Washington on this one.
I 100% agree with you. Sam Howell looked good. He had 3 touchdowns against Atlanta.
Yeah, Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
I think he is the future for the Washington. For Washington.
I think at least the immediate future. He's at least a solid quarterback.
Yeah,
I wouldn't call him great or elite or the future, but he's definitely good.
If he gets the right coaching staff and the right weapons, I think he is probably the future for Washington. If they keep him.
Oh, they will. I mean, he's had a pretty good season. They're going to keep him. They're 3-3. Excuse me. They're 3-3. They're sneakier than people thought. They just beat Atlanta after they lost somehow against the Bears, which makes absolutely no sense. But I mean, you give the Commanders, who are coming off an impressive win against Atlanta, the Giants, who didn't score a touchdown last week, and who have pretty much been abysmal all season long. Daniel Jones is hurt right now. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Is him playing even a good thing? Are they better off without him? Those are all way too many question marks in New York. Way too many question marks. What's Saquon Barkley's health? He's always injured in the past. He's been injured again this season. Way too many question marks. Give me Washington. I want to take command.
Yeah, the only thing I'm actually really concerned about for Washington is their defense. Their run game is probably what I'm worried about the most.
Yes, Washington cannot run the ball worth a shit.
And then whoever team that actually has a good running back will it will actually probably have a nice heyday against the Washington's defense because their run game is horrible.
Yes.
Because if you look at last game against the Falcons, total they out of all the people, the four people that ran the ball was Aguilar, Robinson, Ritter, and Patterson. Even though Patterson did not gain a yard, all with only one carry. But out of those four, 106 yards total.
So they got over 100 yards rushing.
So yeah, they had over 100 yards rushing. And then if we go back to the game before, if my computer loads, thank you. They had over 100 rushing yards again.
Right. So 2 in a row.
So you have 2 in a row. I'm not going to want to go way back to everything else, but you had two games in a row that you had over 100 rushing yards. So if Washington can actually learn how to stop the run and actually
be a lot better
and stop their key weapon on offense on receiving wise, they will have a really good shot. Because Drake London had a field day, 125 yards for only 9 catches.
Right.
So
Drake London's a good player. Speaking of Drake London, who do you have? Both these teams are looking for a bounce back win because both of them lost last week. The Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh. Even though it was sad to see Baker not do as well.
Baker Tom Brady Mayfield Jr. He gonna take us the whole way, take the Super Bowl, 17-0.
It's sad to say that he did not look good, but it was against a Lions defense.
Well, yeah, the Lions defense has made a lot of quarterbacks look like garbage.
Yeah,
Jordan Love being one of them.
So you're seeing all of this. I mean, Baker did have 200 yards, 206 yards total. But
so I mean, you look. I mean, but he only 19 for 37 passes, and he threw an interception as well.
Yeah.
So it's just Baker's issue is he's way too inconsistent.
Yeah.
He had that problem. He had that problem in Cleveland, and he definitely had that problem in Carolina.
So yeah, but like I said, that Lions defense, their coverage, because they stopped Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, both. Chris Godwin went 6 catches for 77. Mike Evans 4 for 49.
Right.
I mean, that's to me that'd be hard to do. Having the two really good, like probably one of the best receiver duo in the league, going under 100 yards. I mean that's insane. But you know what? Give me Tampa Bay.
Okay. Me and JB so far we're on the same page the whole way down. I have Tampa Bay. You know, on this podcast, I've been sellers of Tampa Bay. I've told people they're pretenders, not contenders. I'm still going to hold that to be true. However, Desmond Ritter is far too inconsistent. 3 interceptions last week. I mean, yeah, he did have 2 touchdowns as well and 307 yards. And the week before that, he did break his record for most passing yards at well over 300. So Desmond Ritter is far too inconsistent. There will be times where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy's pretty good. He's not bad. Then there are times you're like, okay, he's great. Oh, my God, Desmond Ritter's the guy. And then there's times like, holy crap, someone get him off the field and put Taylor Heineke in there because, God, he looks like hot garbage. So he's always just floating like a roller coaster almost.
Yeah.
Baker is far more polished. He's far more experienced. Tampa Bay has a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. They have Chris Godwin. They have Mike Evans. So they still have players who were part of that Super Bowl team.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Drake London's a good player. Yes, Bijan Robinson's a good player. But The experience on Tampa Bay, I think, is going to be too much for Atlanta to handle. They have a better quarterback as well. Give me Tampa Bay. Ooh, here's going to be an interesting one. Steelers, the LA Rams. This game is in Los Angeles. I mean, it's not like they have any fans that fill the stadium anyway, so it'll probably be like a Pittsburgh home game.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as I can see, the only thing that we actually did was one game that we actually stopped receivers was Baltimore. We stopped their key targets. But other than that game, we really didn't stop no one on the receiver side, and they have 2 targets to throw to. And I feel like now at this point, the Rams defense is a lot better than against our offense right now. Since fire Matt Canada.
You still haven't done yet.
Nope. I don't think we're not going to after this. Hopefully after this season. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, he has to be. Unless it's like a miraculous comeback, yeah, there's no way.
No, unless Matt Canada goes undefeated for the rest of the season, which I do not see happening at all.
No,
none. So, give me the Rams on this one.
No,
just because our secondary, we couldn't stop Davante Adams. Let me go back.
Who can stop Davante Adams?
No one.
Exactly, he's the best receiver in football.
But let me go to the Texans. Nico Collins.
Yeah, that game was bad.
Nico Collins. Who's that? He caught 7 catches, 168 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Who's that? Never heard of him. And then let's go. I already said Davante Adams. Let's go to the Browns here. Amari Cooper. I mean, he had 90 yards, so almost 100. He averaged 12.9 per catch. So there's that one. And I don't even want to start with the 49ers. I have to go back because this one was brutal.
Yeah, that game was bad. Not as bad as the Houston game, though.
Yeah, and then you had Brandon Ayuk for 8 for 8, 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like I said, the only one game that we actually had a stop was the Baltimore Ravens. And that game, it was just the receiver or the Baltimore Ravens receivers. They just dropped passes left and right. Like 5 for 11, 6 for 10. Like, so.
Now, I'm surprised. You know, I figured we always have a game or two different, typically. I didn't think it'd be this one, but it is. Because I think Pittsburgh's going to win this game. Never thought I'd see a day where you sell on your Steelers for a week, but I pick them up. I'm going to pick them up.
I'm not saying that I'm not.
Not for this season, just for the week.
I will always want to root for the Steelers to win. And I hope they win. And I hope they win. But if I'm looking at statistically, they have Cooper Kupp. Mm-hmm. Cooper Kupp is back.
He is.
Look what he did. Look what Cooper Kupp did. What was this? Was this his first game back? Against the Cardinals or against the So, if you look at Cooper Kupp against the Eagles, 8 catches for 118 yards. Right? Let's go to the Cardinals game. 7 catches, 148 yards, and 1 touchdown.
So he's absolutely back. But
And
the
he's
reason
back.
I'm
And then, and like I said before, we never stopped. We couldn't even stop the main target for a team. We couldn't. And then the majority of that time, that like I said, against the Ravens, it was just the receiver's error. It wasn't our secondary that stopped it. No, it was theirs. It was the receivers. So, and if we go back to watched all the drops that the Ravens had against the Steelers, it was all receivers. Not one. Not one was against our secondary. Well, probably there was probably a few, but I mean, we just couldn't stop them. So
you're and you make sense, and I can't argue with anything you just said because you're right. But for some reason, my gut's telling me Pittsburgh, and I think a lot of it has to do with, yes, y'all have a winning record. You're 3-2. You're second in your division. The only reason you're not first in your division is because you had a bye week last week, and the rest of the division won. So it's not
mm-hmm.
any fault of the Steelers. So we might as well say that due to the bye week, you're still first-ish. However you want to look at it. But it doesn't feel that way. Why is it? Because the Steelers win ugly football games. It's Mike Tomlin's thing. How did he say it when they won that game against the Raiders? I'm not going to apologize for winning.
Yep.
That's exactly the case. They're coming off of a bye week. They have a Hall of Fame coach. Kenny Pickett is starting to do audible. He's starting to look a little more comfortable, a little more confident. I don't know why. I just think Pittsburgh is a good, disciplined football team. I think Pittsburgh is well coached. I think they'll want to win an ugly football game. That's just what Pittsburgh does. This is my upset of the week. Pittsburgh beats the Rams. I think in a very ugly, probably had a lot of turnovers, not a lot of scoring. Ugly game. Pittsburgh wins. I'd say both teams will score under 20 points.
Okay.
That is one. There's one. This ain't gonna be one. The Arizona Cardinals or the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, even though they have lost, Arizona's 1 for 5, but Joshua Dobbs is actually looking really, really good. Even though he went 50%, 21 for 41, 235 yards, and 1 interception. Actually, with the season right now, he is at where's the totals? He has 3 interceptions. He has 3 interceptions for the season, and 2, 4, and 6 touchdowns. And he has 1,215 passing yards. So that's really good.
Better than people thought.
Way better than other people thought. But I do believe it's the defense that's holding him back.
Arizona does not have a very talented roster.
No. And yet, even though they won a game against the Cowboys, was shocking.
In NFL, anything can happen.
Yes, in the NFL, anything could happen. I mean, he even played phenomenal against the 49ers. 265 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like,
So, I mean, he's had some moments. He's definitely proven he belongs in the NFL.
Yeah. And then what I just seen, Murray and Baker returned to practice today. So, good job for them. But would they be healthy? Probably not. I do believe they're probably going to come back as against the Ravens. So we'll see. We'll try to monitor that the best that we can. Even though he says he's still out, but they were both. Actually, Murray was limited. Let's see, hamstring for Buda Baker. Oh, they returned into injured reserve on Wednesday. So even though he did show up, apparently it's not good enough. So I'm just reading that just right now. So for Murray, he might be back to the Ravens or Browns. Baker, don't know when he's going to come back. So with that being said, I'm probably going to take Seattle, just because they're Seattle is a really good team.
Yes, they are.
They won, even though it was against. There was only one good team that they beat, was the Lions, and then they beat the Panthers, which that was a very ugly game at first, but then they came back, and then they beat against the Giants. So once again, they're facing a horrible team, and I mean, as simple as that, they're gonna win.
I mean, me and you both had Seattle against Cincinnati last week. We were wrong. Cincinnati's looking like they're starting to kind of bounce back a little bit, get on track. Thank goodness I did not sell my stock on the Bengals, because we'll get into them a different week. They're on bye week, but Seattle was able to lose that game, unfortunately, for our standings. I think they're able to bounce back this week. Like you said, Arizona's not a very good team. Their defense struggles. Their offense is inconsistent, to say the least. Josh Dobbs, let's be honest, yes, he belongs in the NFL. He's a good backup quarterback, but you and me both know he ain't no starter.
No, it looks like
He's just
it.
not.
There are games that he looks like it.
Yeah, he'll have moments, but against
But
a Seattle defense that is playing good football. I
mhm.
mean, they have Walker at running back, who's playing good football. I think Geno Smith had a couple picks last game. I think he's gonna be able to get back on track against a bad Cardinals team. I think Seattle wins by at least 10 points.
Yeah.
Ooh, here we go. Packers coming off a bye. The Denver Broncos.
Let's ride to the Green Bay
Cross country.
Packers. Give me Packers.
Okay.
It's just, yes, Denver won the toilet bowl. Once again, congratulations, but you never succeeded in anything else.
Yeah.
Packers are just way too young of a team, even though they are 2-3 right now, in which they are second in the division right now with 2-3. Even though, yes, they should have won against the Raiders, and that was a very very ugly game for Jordan Love.
Yes.
But only lost by 4. I mean, with having a first ugly game that Jordan Love had, still really good in my part. So yeah, give me the Packers. It's coming off the bye week. They're freshed out. They're refreshed. That loss is behind them. I think Jordan Love is gonna come back and actually be dominant this game.
I agree. I think Green Bay wins this game. I think Green Bay has to win this game. Here's why we have to win this game. We've lost 2 games in a row. We lost to Detroit. No shame in that, whatever. But then we had a really bad performance against the Raiders. Jordan Love, like we said, the first bad game of his career. They had a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're playing the Broncos in Denver, who the Broncos are a dumpster fire right now. I mean, my God. Last in the division, the only team they've beaten to this point is the Chicago Bears, and that was barely. They had to come back to do that. They've allowed 70 points to the Dolphins. Green Bay coming off of a bye. If we don't win this football game, I will be willing to say that we are a bad football team. You have to win this game. You can't lose 3 in a row in the NFL. Can't do it. Especially coming off a bye week against a bad Broncos defense. I think Jordan Love is that dude. You even take his bad performance against the Raiders into consideration. Here he has 10 touchdowns, and he only has 6 turnovers. He hasn't lost a fumble. because he has 8 pass touchdowns, 2 rush touchdowns. So you look at that. I think Jordan Love's able to bounce back this week. I think the Packers have a good team. I think Aaron Jones looks like he's going to be able to play. Their receivers are getting healthy. My Packers will be able to bounce back. Green Bay wins. the Chargers. Here we go. Chargers or the Chiefs?
Well, since the performance that they had against the Cowboys, I mean, they were down by 3 in the first half, and they tied into third. It's just that fourth quarter.
Always is with the Chargers. It's charging.
Yep.
It's a problem.
Even though Justin Herbert, he looked good. He did 22 for 37, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and only 1 sack.
Yeah, he did.
It's good. It's good for him. But I think it was their defense that actually screwed up against that in the fourth quarter, because they just had Dak Prescott, just march down the field, and it was just horrible. I think it was just a horrible game for the Chargers. Horrible defense, because it's like how like I can't even prescribe words of how horrible that Chargers defense was against the Cowboys, especially in the fourth quarter. So it was just horrible. Justin Herbert and the offense had a really good game. Really good game. Except for Eckler only had 14 carries, 27 yards. But other than that, horrible. Horrible. But yeah, give me Kansas City.
And I agree with you. I think Kansas City wins, but I'm not going to talk about Kansas City right now. Talk about the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert. I think the Chargers' offense is the problem. I think we have opposite opinions on that. Here's why. Justin Herbert is a outstanding quarterback. Top 5 in the league for the first 3 quarters. Always has been.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Phillip Rivers was. When the fourth quarter starts, he's not a big-time quarterback. He hasn't produced clutch wins. Do you know? Here's actually. Make sure I have this correct here. Yeah. 13 fourth quarter interceptions since entering the league. 13. That's troubling. You look at his fourth quarter numbers, they're troubling. So, yes, you look at a box score, his stats are going to look good. 22 for 37, 227 yards, 2 tutties, 1 interception. I mean, yeah, his stats will always look good. Do you know what I'm willing to say now? This might be a hot take. You ready for this one?
Ready for it.
Justin Herbert is this generation's Tony Romo.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Stats will always be good. He'll always have Pro Bowls. He'll have the cute little numbers. He'll have the commercials you see on television with him and Patrick Mahomes eating fucking Subway and shit. So he's going to have those things always. The problem is there's no substance there. It's like eating a bunch of cake and ice cream for dinner. Yeah, it was delicious. Now we've gained 15 pounds. There's no substance there. You need meat and potatoes. Where do you get your meat and potatoes? The fourth quarter. He just signed that big contract extension. I'm willing to say that he's underachieving on his contract because he has not been able to produce big-time wins for the Chargers. I mean, for Christ's sake, the man couldn't even defend that lead in the playoffs last year against Jacksonville. Is this generation's Tony Romo, the Chargers? I'm week 6 right here. I bet on the Chargers. I will not do that again in primetime. I will not make that same ignorant-ass mistake. That I don't know why I made that mistake. It's Chargers. They're going to continue charging. Herbert is slightly overrated, except in the fantasy world, which he's my fantasy quarterback. That's the problem. Good in fantasy, he won't win you big games. At Mahomes will, though. Give me the
Yep.
Chiefs. Speaking of big wins and a big game of the week. Sunday Night Football, the Dolphins or the Eagles?
Ooh,
NFL set us up real good with that one.
they did a good Sunday night football game.
Finally.
Between the overpowering Miami's offense. This might be I think it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I agree.
Very tough game.
I agree.
I think it's going to be an offensive matchup.
Hmm?
But give me the Miami Dolphins. Just because I don't think no one on the Philadelphia can actually go toe to toe with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. You can't. There's no one. No one I can actually think of right now if I actually look at their roster right now on their defense. There is no one.
You know, we agree. I think Miami wins this game too, but I think Miami wins this game simply, yes, because of their offense, but I think their offense is better than Philadelphia's. Philadelphia, like I said earlier, Hurts had a rough game last week, but he had a bunch of turnovers against the Jets, and they barely beat the Rams. They barely beat the Commanders, so they're fluttering a little bit to a point, but they're still a good enough team to win these games. Miami is not fluttering. They're not
No.
fluttering at all. They are on all pages on offense, especially. I think Miami wins a shootout. Miami's offense is just a little more consistent at this point in the season than Philadelphia's is. Now, I firmly still believe that Miami will falter as the season goes on and fade away a little bit because, like I've said before in the podcast, it'll get colder. Injuries will happen. They're not really a tough-nosed football team. They're finesse. And I mean that in the most respectful way because their offense is something I've never seen before. They're really not a tough-nosed team, but this game, still early in the season, Miami wins. Not cold yet.
If you even look at the games that they won against Chargers 36-34, Patriots 24-17, Broncos 70-20, Giants 31-16, Panthers 42-21. Like they're outscoring them left and right.
Yeah, they're just going to be able to score too much.
Yeah. Like there's not even a single digit on their offense.
Yes, literally. Yeah, their offense is just too good.
Yep.
Monday Night Football. San Francisco 49ers or the Minnesota Vikings?
Give me San Francisco. Just because it's San Francisco. I think Brock Purdy is going to bounce back from his horrible, I want to say a horrible game, his kink game. I would say 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 125 yards against a dominant Cleveland Brown defense. But I do believe that they're gonna bounce back against a struggling Minnesota Vikings with a their main weapon, Justin Jefferson, because he is on IR.
I'll miss at least the next 3 more games. And I agree with you. San Francisco wins this game. I think they win it. I wouldn't say convincingly, but they'll win it by at least 7 to 10 points. However, I want to talk about the mainstream sports media because you have Brock Purdy this season. Mind you, this is the first regular season game this man's ever lost.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, this man's throw for 10 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's also ran in 2 more touchdowns, so 12 touchdowns, 1 turnover for the year. The dude had 1 bad game, and you have these fools that don't know what they're talking about, like Colin Cowherd going on there and saying ridiculous stuff, like, oh, he's only good because of the team around him. Oh, he's not that good. We finally seen what Brock Purdy is. He's overrated. All week long, that's all we've heard from the mainstream sports media. That's it. And
Yep.
the man's had his 1 bad game. 1. He
This
just
is
had 4 touchdowns against Dallas. He threw his first interception, and mind you, the man still took the Niners down there for a game-winning drive. The only reason they lost the game is because the kicker missed a field goal. If that kicker makes that field goal, we're not talking about this right now. We're talking about how Brock Purdy held a game-winning football drive and he was clutch. That's what we would be saying if the kicker made the kick. It's
mm-hmm.
not Brock Purdy's fault he missed. Yes. Did Brock Purdy play like trash most of the game? Yes. Yes, but he still led them down there. He got them in field goal range. He was able to put his team in the position to win. The kicker just simply missed.
Yep.
Yeah, San Francisco wins. It's all a narrative. All the mainstream people they have their agendas on what they're told to say.
Yep. So
moving
take it what
over
you
to
want.
the right. And JB are going to pivot to the world of the NBA a little bit. NBA season is starting next week. Regular season starting preseason's already well underway, as we know. So we're underway. As promised, me and JB, as always, will predict who we think will go to the finals and who will win. JB, what is your finals prediction for this season and who wins?
So I think for the team whoever gotten Damian Lillard was going to win the finals.
Okay.
And I do believe the Milwaukee Bucks is going to win the finals.
Okay.
Just because the fact, not because of Damian Lillard, he's a scoring machine. But he also, look who he has around him. He has Giannis. He has Middleton. I know the roster probably has changed a little bit since I've looked since. Yeah, they have Bobby
Milwaukee.
Portis.
Yep.
Yeah. Brook Lopez. Cameron Payne. I think he's new. Coming from, was he new? I don't think he's new. I was thinking he was from a different team. And they have
Cameron
Robin
Payne?
Lopez. Yeah.
Cameron Payne is. He played for the Suns last year, didn't he?
Yeah. So he's new. He's new on the team, and he was actually really good for the Suns.
He's a good role player, yeah.
He's a good role player, and they have the both brothers, Brook and Robin Lopez, both on the team. And they have their brother, Giannis's brother, Giannis, and they got Jay Crowder, and we all know how Jay Crowder is. He's a good corner shooter. He's a pop and shoot. If he can play defense, he can play defense. Mm-hmm. He could lock down the main scorer for that team for the majority of the game. But I mean, even though it is preseason, but they did lose against the Thunder 124-101. But I still believe once it becomes a actual season, I think they're gonna dominate. I think Damian Lillard, he's 100% healthy. He's ready to go. He doesn't have to carry as much of a load this year when he was with Portland. Because Portland, right. Who did he have? No one.
Him and CJ McCollum, that was it.
Oh yeah, and CJ. That's about it. They didn't have a big man. They didn't have a defensive team. It was just him and McCollum. And scoring
Now,
can only go through so much. And
who do you
Giannis,
have?
huh?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
And then you have Giannis that could play both ends of the ball, defense
But yeah,
and offense. You got Brooke and Robin both get boards left and right, and going on defense. So Milwaukee is overly stacked in my opinion. And then you got Boston Celtics, which they're gonna have an amazing regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, they're gonna shoot the bed.
it's always.
And
Yeah.
then
So you have Milwaukee winning, but who do you have them beating? West.
to me, it's either going to be the Phoenix Suns or the
Really?
Denver
Okay.
Nuggets.
Okay.
I think those two, just because of who's on the Suns, you got Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. Is
Who's going to rebound? Traded DeAndre Ayton, excuse me. And who are they going to have the rebound? Who's their bench going to be? I mean, yeah,
I'm
in
looking
that
at their
trade
roster right now.
they were
So,
able to get some bench pieces, but they don't have a big man.
oh, they do have Bradley Beal. I forgot they just got him. They got Bol. They got Bol.
They do. He's a good role player.
Good role player. He can get boards. Um, he could probably guard Wembanyama.
Oh my God, Wemby, Jesus Christ,
Wemby.
overrated, overrated.
And then Kevin Durant, he can get rebounds. Um. So yeah.
Am I
And then
hearing
they
you
got
right?
Grayson Allen as well, a nice key role player.
If I'm hearing you right, you got the Suns going, huh?
Either the Suns or the Nuggets. I think once again the Nuggets are too much of a great team to not go all the way. But yeah, it's either
You got to
this.
pick one. You got to pick one.
If it all comes down to it, I'm probably going to pick
Drum roll.
the Nuggets.
Okay.
I think it's going to come to the wire. Game 7. Nuggets are going to win.
Okay. So sounds like JB has the Bucks beating the Nuggets in the finals, and me and you are halfway the same because I have the Nuggets making the finals. I have the Nuggets winning the finals. Excuse me. My God, technical difficulties. Guess that's the worst that happens today. We're in good shape. Murphy's Law is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, is it ever. But yeah, I mean, Denver, so you look at their team. So they still have, obviously, they still have Jokic. So they still have the best center in the league. So they have Jamal Murray, who is a great second man. They have Aaron Gordon. They have DeAndre Jordan. They have Kentavious Caldwell Pope. So they have plenty of players in their team. So really, they're returning most of their same people back.
Yep.
So Denver is a consistent machine. I don't see a team out west that's able to beat them. Yeah, you look at the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron's getting old, injury history. Anthony Davis, injury history. Then you go down the line. Okay, you have the Clippers. Who knows what the Clippers are? Is Kawhi Leonard going to be healthy? Is Paul George going to be healthy? Are they going to load manage? Are they going to be available for most of their games? A lot of question marks there. So then you have the Suns. Yes. But who's going to guard Jokic? They don't have anybody. They have Bol. Ooh, yeah, no. Jokic is going to tear Bol up. It's going to happen. So they're not big enough. So you have all these teams out west that they have way too many question marks. Denver is a very strong team, again, returning most of their core. So I think Denver will win the finals again. And also you have the Warriors, but also same thing with them. Who's going to rebound? We're talking about making Klay Thompson start power forward.
Right?
Come on. They're going to be a rebound nobody.
No.
You know.
I think.
So out west.
Yeah, Golden
West?
State, they are a very, very small team.
Yes. So out west, I think it's a clear cut. I think Denver is the clear cut choice. Out east, it gets a little more complicated because yes, you got Boston. Yes, you have Philadelphia, who is a contender as well. You have Boston, Philadelphia, too many. Of course, you have Milwaukee, like you said, probably the favorite out east. But I'm not going to pick any three of those teams to make the finals. I don't think Boston makes the finals in the East. I don't think Philadelphia. I don't think Milwaukee does. I think the Miami Heat do.
Oh, you think it's going to be a rematch?
I do. I do think it's going to be a rematch. So
Ooh,
you
okay.
look. No. Yes. Everything you said is true. Milwaukee's a good pick. They were actually almost my pick. I had them up here. During this podcast, I had Milwaukee screen up, looking at it. But something just tells me, me and you last year, when the playoffs started, we were on this podcast, and there were people giving us a hard time about calling Miami a title contender.
Mm-hmm.
Christ, we made the fucking finals, for Christ's sake. Everyone wanted it. Everyone rooted against it. You could tell everyone was sad, except Heat fans.
Yep.
It's going to happen again. Erik Spoelstra is the best coach in the game. We have Jimmy Butler. We still have Bam. We still have Kevin Love. We still have Duncan Robinson. We still have Caleb Martin, Kyle Lowry. We still have, we added Thomas Bryant coming over from Denver, so he adds some toughness. And Tyler Hero's back. We made the finals last year without Tyler Hero.
Right.
On top of the fact that Josh Richardson's been re-signed. He's back on the team again after a couple years away, bouncing around the league. So there adds some depth. On top of the fact that Miami always has one or two undrafted free agents that just come out of nowhere and are good role players. I think it's going to happen again. Keep Orlando Robinson on your eye for that as well. Also keep Nikola Jovic. Not Jokic, Jovic. Keep him in that as well. Hayward Highsmith could be one of as well. I think one of those three players will step up into a good role player. We are a very deep team. We're pretty much running it back. Now that we have lost the Dame Lillard sweepstakes, we're pretty much running it back.
Okay.
That's my reason. Miami last year were the 8th seed. We've made the finals 2 of the last 3 seasons. The one year we didn't, we still made the Eastern Conference Finals and lost to Boston in a Game 7. We've been right in the thick of things every year. It's going to be the same. The mainstream media just doesn't hype us up as much because we don't have a true bona fide superstar. We're just a really well-coached team with a bunch of really, really good, hardworking players with Jimmy Butler, a superstar, but leading the way. When I say superstar, though, the mainstream media's superstar is flashy players. They want LeBron, they want Curry, they want highlights. Jimmy Butler and Bam aren't those players. They're not sexy. It's not highlight reel. It's not Lob City. They're consistent. Miami's going to make the finals.
Okay.
Lose, unfortunately, to Denver again because losing the Dame Lillard sweepstakes will come to bite us because we need a scoring star to put us over the edge. I have been saying this before this, well before the podcast, well before. So I think, yes, Erik Spoelstra and our team will be good enough to get back. Not good enough to win it against Jokic and that team, though.
Same. I feel the same way. But I just feel like now you have a scoring machine again with another scoring machine team.
You do.
And adding onto that with both of them combined, it'll be just a whole.
And I see where you're coming from, but until Miami's dethroned, we are the defending Eastern Conference champions. And with that, that's all we have for today's unbiased hard take. JB, anything else you want to add on what we talked about today?
Nope. Like I said, I'll keep this trend alive. Fire Matt Canada.
Fire Joe Barry too.
Until that happens, every podcast, every short take, everything. I will always say Fire Matt Canada until it happens. But
Fire Joe Barry.
I hope the Miami Heat will do really good this year, even though we did change nothing against with our lineup instead than adding our rookie this year. But
and Thomas,
I mean,
he's
been looking good. He's been looking good during the preseason, but through all of the rookies that we had prior, the only one that we actually started and actually kept was Tyler Hero at that point. Because if you've seen all of the rookies that we had that actually did really good against the summer league and in the preseason, we just never play them. And I say we should have kept our 7-footer, but that didn't happen. So, but that's all I had to say. Hopefully, go Heat, go Steelers, Fire Matt Canada. Subscribe, like our Facebook. The link is going to be in the description down below. Hit the bell for notifications for our videos that are coming up.
That's right. And check out that Sports Fact today. As soon as I'm done here, I'm gonna make sure I get that Sports Fact today in before these next 2 hours come up, because we have 2 hours till the next day. So I'll make sure I get that up. Again, fire Joe Barry, Preston Smith guarding Devontae Adams. Jesus Christ, a junior varsity football coach knows better than that. With that being said, that's all I have. And until next week, go Pat, go, and let's go Heat.
Let's go Steelers. Let's go Heat, baby. See ya.